Hello, welcome to Woodland Permaculture. I'm Jenny Wood, and today I'm working on a project that I've been putting off for months, maybe even a year. I am finally over by my grapevines, making an archway out of recycled branches from trees so that the grapevines can grow up over them and create a beautiful archway. And I started it yesterday and totally forgot about doing a video. So now I'm halfway through the project. So far it's working out really well, but I want to be able to back up a little bit and show you what I've been doing up until now. So I'm going to show you kind of briefly what I've been doing, just kind of zooming in and showing you some details of what I've done, and then I will pick up where I am now and finish it off with you. So give me just a minute. Let me zoom in and show you kind of what I've been doing. The first thing I did was to start to collect branches and items that I could use in this project. These branches that go all the way up and arch over are branches from my fruitless mulberry. Recycling them, keeping them out of the waste cycle, and using them here on my property, all of which are permaculture principles. I also found somewhere along the way these metal tubes right here. I found 4 of them, and I figured that these would make great anchors for at least the 4 corners so that I could put them into the ground and help keep the elements from rotting the wood if I put that into the ground. So the first things that I did was find the right branches. I wanted some that were straight but then were kind of curved at the top, and ones that would fit into those metal tubes. And I cut them, I cut the ends off of them, and I made sure they would fit in there, and then I screwed them. I used a drill and screws, and I kind of screwed them in there to make sure that they would be nice and sturdy. And then I buried the anchors with that shovel right there. Just dug about a foot down, shoved them in there, and put the sticks in and screwed them in. And I did that on all 4 corners. See, there's a corner there, and there's a corner there, and then on the other side, that corner right there. So that gave me my 4 corners. Then I knew that I would need more vertical arches, so I found 2 more branches to do the center. And those 2 branches, although they don't have anchors, I did bury them down into the ground about a foot so that they would be a little more sturdy. After that, I tied them up at the top. Those 3 arches right there. I tied them so that they would meet in the middle and make an arch. And for that, I just used some natural twine that I have had laying around. So far I haven't spent anything on this except for screws, which I already had. After that, I wondered how in the world could I add a couple of more in there. The next ones that I would want in between the anchors and the center, I didn't want to dig them down because they're going to be right next to some grapevines, and I didn't want to dig and risk hurting the grapevines. So what I did today is I made a crossbar. I just took another branch and I screwed the crossbar right into here, into all 6 of the branches that I had already put in the ground. Screwed it in on each of those. And so then, once I had a crossbar that was pretty stable, I could then take 4 more branches and screw them into that crossbar, that one right there, and those only just barely touch the ground. So I have 4 of those, and at this point, what I'm in the process of doing now is tying those together. So that's this one right here. And I've got 1 more of those to tie together. So that's where I'm at. Hopefully that wasn't too confusing. Hopefully I didn't make you nauseous moving my camera around too much. But now what I'll do is I will stop the camera, set it up on a tripod, and let you see me tying the last one of those arches together over there on the end. You can see those two sticks sticking up in the air. Those got to get tied together into an arch. Hold on. So I'm trying to make these about 7 feet high. I'm about 5'2" or so. I'm standing on a 3-foot step ladder, so I'm guessing that somewhere around my chin is going to be about 7 feet. So that's how I'm kind of measuring. And then these branches are still nimble enough and moist enough to bend pretty well. I wanted this to kind of stay, but it's not gonna. That's okay. I'm just gonna get some of my twine. I can start tying these together. Twist them around really tight. It's interesting, these were all trimmed from my mulberry tree in the fall, and they've been hanging around on the side of the yard for what, 4 or 5 months or so now, and they're still not quite dry. And so that's what makes them nice and nimble. But they actually have buds, and some of the buds are nice and green, like the buds kind of want to grow. I'll bet you if I actually put one of these in the ground, it might grow. But that's not their purpose any longer. Their purpose now is to be an arch. There we go. Good. Now all of my main arches are in place. I have a pruner, so I could take this off. There we go. Put that. There we go. So now all of the main arches are in place, all the verticals, and I want to weave in some more branches in between these, going all the way up the arch, so that the grapevines have room to grow. So at this point, what I want to do is start weaving some of these very nimble branches in between the sticks, the vertical sticks. Just like that. Although I think I liked it the other way. I think I want to do it. Hi Alex, how are you? I think I want to do it this way. So I think I'm going to start this way. There we go. And pull them down to like right about there. Now, what I'd like is for them to be able to stay on their own, but I think what I'm going to do is, in some places, I'm going to tie them to make sure they stay where I want them. I probably won't tie all of them, all of the crosses, unless I find that becomes necessary, just because that's a lot of extra work. So for now, I think maybe I'll just do like every other one. Probably ought to do the ends, right? So maybe I have to rethink my strategy there. I feel like the ends should probably be done. There we go. Now that's pretty sturdy. Maybe I'll do one more here for this one, and we'll see how I decide to do the rest of them, right? Jenny changes her mind often in the middle of her projects. There we go. So there's one. Now the next one I do will be opposite, weaving in here. And eventually it should all hold itself together and be quite sturdy going all the way up. Oh, geez, what's going on with that? I have to figure that out. These suckers are crossing up there. I have to fix that. But then I'll show you the next ones I do. I decided to switch over to the other side. Maybe I should do them alternating so I can keep these guys straight. See, look at that. That one's already going cockeyed again. You know? So we gotta keep those straight, so I need to maybe alternate them. This side is for some reason much closer to my grapevines than that side, just where I planted the grapes. And so I need to be careful of those grapes, and I don't want to hurt them. So I had to weave it very carefully around that part near the grapevine so that I wouldn't hurt the grapevine. I had to weave it right in between here, and this one's already high enough it can start growing up that vertical pole. I'm excited about that. I'm definitely going to tie this one. This one keeps wanting to scoot over, so we're going to tie it in place. No? And now I'm coming back to this side, and I'm going to do it opposite of that one. And I also trimmed off the end of it so it wouldn't be quite so long. I can tell it's starting to get to be a little more solid, a little more sturdy. I'm going to just tie this one, and this one. So what I'm doing now is just adding some lovely crossbars and weaving them in. These are some of the smaller pieces that I've cut off or were too small to be some of the main weavings, some of the main sticks. So I'm just kind of decorating it going up, and hopefully it'll look nice when I'm done. And now one last finishing touch. I have gotten all those hopefully decorative diagonals woven in there, and I have put up one last cross beam across the top right here. And I did that for a very special purpose because I'm going to hang my woodland sign. My family, my husband and I and my daughter have had this sign in our family for many years. And we've lived here in Tracy for 3 years, and I finally have a great place to hang it. And so you get to see me putting it up for the first time. Yay! And now, welcome to Woodland. All right, thank you guys so much for joining me again. This has been a really fun project. Not as hard as I thought it was going to be. I might be getting a little better at these things. I hope it's pretty stable and sturdy. It's not the prettiest thing, but it's natural. I'm using recycled materials, and it's going to look beautiful once my grapevines cover it. Some of them are already starting to try and climb up it since I started doing this a few days ago. You guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I've had a great time with you, and I hope everyone out there is enjoying this beautiful spring weather. You guys take care and God bless.